I had this example of what love looked like at home every day, like, seeing my parents, but it just never really resonated with me truly because they were always instilling that in the back of my mind. Like, you need to focus. You need to focus. Don't worry about these girls. You need to focus. You need to focus. And then I like that they did that to a certain degree, but it always felt like, damn, do y'all want to see me happy?
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a very special guest in the building. Man, he's an up-and-coming rapper.
Yeah.
He recently worked with OG Steve-O and
Yeah.
Flying RE.
Yeah.
Does a lot of work out of No More Heroes. We got to get you over here at Private Star, bro. You got a lot that you're doing, bro. I definitely want to give you flowers and, continuing this journey, right? Just like we were talking about. Starting the journey is the easy part. It's the part where you got to keep going and not give up. That's the hard part.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Man, it's Kvdoe, man. You already know, man. Really, bro, I just want to let everybody know that this music it means the most to me, man. And coming out of Chicago, bro, it's hard to find a lot of genuine people. So I really appreciate you at the end of the day for having me on here, bro, and having me on your space, bro, because it means a lot to me, bro. You know, first interview, like we were talking about, first interview. So, man, it means a lot to me. But yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm just ready to drop, bro. I'm ready to drop, bro. That's the only thing that's on my mind right now. I'm ready to drop.
You gotta drop those singles, bro. Drop the singles.
The singles.
This is what I've been told, right?
Mhm.
As somebody who works with a lot of people who do music, build your fan base, man. Drop those singles. Keep on
Yeah.
dropping until you earn dropping an EP, earn dropping an album, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't want to just drop shit because you're like, man, fuck it, I want to drop.
Yeah.
People don't want to sit there and digest a 10-song body of work when they've heard 2 songs.
It's hard though, because as a creative, I just feel like sometimes you want to get as much music to the people that are actually listening to you as possible sometimes. But it definitely is a balance because no one's just gonna drop a 23 song project and expect everybody to listen to, especially nowadays, bro, people's attention spans are way too short, bro.
I think that's a good thing that you have that mentality though, and you have that heart to be able to just drop and say, like you said, right? You want to get it to the people that are listening, even no matter what that number looks like. Because for me, it's almost heartbreaking when I drop something that I put in a lot of work for, right? And nobody looked at it, nobody cared about it. It's like, well, shit. Well, like, why did I even do that?
It's like a double-edged sword though too, because it's like even if you put something out that you fuck with heavy, like for you, if you love what you're doing, I feel like that sometimes can not matter in a way. Being an up and coming artist is kind of the same thing. Like if you're putting out a lot of music and no one's really gravitating towards it, but you know you have to keep going because no one's listening, or not everybody who you want to listen is listening. So it's a double edged sword for sure.
And then for you, man, you went from playing soccer to making music.
Man, truthfully, bro, just like that. It was. I've always been around. I've always been around, like, creative people. Like we talked about my cousin earlier, who is, really put me onto the music. My mom, aspiring actress. So I've always had that creative kind of atmosphere around me growing up. But soccer was really just, from my pops, because he's from Africa, Senegal. So that was one of the ways that we could bond super heavy, bro. Like soccer, super heavy. And I loved it too. I played it since I was 6, 7, around there. So yeah, bro, that was truly my first love, for real, for real.
You mentioned playing it really because your dad wanted you to.
Hmm.
Do you feel like once you stopped, there was a decline in that relationship?
I'm sure in the back of his mind, any parent wants their kid to continue playing, because I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I wasn't weak, I was decent. So he thought I could have did a lot more with it. But I think it came down at the end of the day, it just came down to picking schools. Like when the college that I played at, it didn't really work out. Just coaching and different recruitments and stuff like that. So, but as far as our relationship, man, he supports everything and anything that I do, bro. Like He's my dog. He's been my rock for a while. So my mom too.
You mentioned your cousin. He inspired you to pursue this music route. But for the people that don't know, what really inspired the switch?
I think it goes back to high school too, bro. Just linking up with the guys, sessions in the car, freestyling, and then all it takes is that one person saying, "You're not finna go to the studio though," and then we end up at the studio literally. And it was me and my homie Pablo and a few other people that you know we ended up actually taking it or trying to take it serious. So that was really the switch. And then college, I had a homie that made beats. I think he did one beat for Pappy back in the day. CJ the God, shout out CJ the God. That was literally the kicking spot after every soccer practice, after every late night class. We just go to their room. He'd turn on a bunch of beats, sessions and all that, man. So that's really what sparked the interest. And then started freestyling, started, just doing music stuff, just being around it. And I finally built up the courage to actually go to a real studio. And it was over with from there, bro.
You fall in love with the energy, you fall in love with the space.
Being able to create something, take it somewhere, and then work with somebody else and have them help elevate it is it's a different feeling.
Now let's talk about your cousin real quick, right?
Yes, sir. Shout out Dali.
That was a huge, huge, huge reason why you decided to pursue music. He's the person that really introduced you to the scene and gave you insight to what this life looks like.
Yes, sir.
How did he inspire you?
Just seeing what he had to go through, bro, and like just our family in general. Like we've always been like really super like tight knit. So just seeing his work ethic, bro, and like the video clips that he would send me and just all the stuff that he was going through at the time with them as a collective, bro, and then him putting out the music. And it was just crazy to see like your own family doing something with themselves. Like being in a progressive light and like just chasing their dreams, bro. It's something about that because it hits close to home. Like it's something special to watch. So I feel like that's really the main thing. Like watching someone close to you, like up close and personal, chasing their dreams and aspiring to be what they want to be is a special feeling.
Watching somebody that you almost grew up with, family. You see
Yeah.
this person in a regular light. You think of them as just an everyday person. There's a Femdot song. In the song, he says, you're big in public, but you small at home.
Mm,
The public sees you in a completely different light than you see yourself. And even when you go back home, you're still the regular ass person that you were, right?
real life, bro. And that's why a lot of the times too, bro, when you put out music, bro, I feel like especially as an up and coming artist, bro, I was never trying to attract the people that I grew up with or the people that know me closely.
You can't.
You can't,
You
bro.
you you can't expect for the people that you grew up with, for the people that you're close to, even your family to really understand what you're trying
That's
to
crazy.
obtain. You're chasing a dream, you're chasing a goal
Wh-
that most of these people can't see.
Why is it like that though? I feel like it should be the other way around, bro. Like the people that are closest to you should be your number one fans, and it's never like that for anything you start that's new. It's never like it's rare.
I had this feeling for a long time when once I made it to like a year. I made it to a year and I started to kind of sit back, take a look. I was interviewing a lot of DJs at the time. To the public, they're huge figures. They're,
Mhm.
larger than life figures, and that's at the local level, right? You're not a Taylor Swift, so you don't have millions of people just hitting you up saying like, "Oh, I hope you're doing well," or "Man, I wish the best for you," or "Man, like I hate you. I hate your music,"
Yeah.
right? But when you're at that local level, now you got tens to hundreds of people that you don't even know. You don't even know who these people are, and they're showing you all this
Real
love.
love, bro.
And then you got the people who you live with, and they don't even realize what you're doing. They don't know
Bro,
they don't know who
it
you
ain't
are.
hit
They
them
don't
yet.
they don't know what you do.
I promise you, bro. I was just talking to somebody about this not too long ago, bro. The amount of love that I get from strangers is crazy. Like people that don't know me from a hole in the wall, bro. They'll repost. They won't miss a post. They won't miss a comment. They won't miss a like. You feel me? So it's like you hate that it's not the people, that are coming up around you and that have watched you grow, but at the same time, it's like you just can't, bro. You can't rely on people that you grew up with, man. You just cannot in terms of that aspect because it's like they know you already from a certain light, from a certain perspective. So it's just hard for them to grasp. I think that's what it is, maybe. But yeah, the amount of love that I get from people that I literally do not know compared to the motherfuckers that have known me all of my life, bro, is crazy, bro.
My boy, I seen him at a listening party and he sees me and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Mind you, my boy, he has nothing to do with music. He's just homies with the guy
Just
that's
homies with
throwing the
the listening
listening
party.
party.
Okay.
He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Bro, like I don't know if you know this. Like, and not on some cocky shit, but like I do this shit.
Yo,
Like
bro,
I do
you
this
really
shit.
do that
Like
shit. Oh,
pe-
bro.
people in Chicago, they know." So that's what I'm saying, right? It's like my homie who I grew up with, I've known since 6th grade, like one of my best friends. He doesn't understand the magnitude of what we're doing, and we're not even where we want to be. We're just at that point where it's like people recognize what we're doing, and I appreciate the love, and I want to work with as many people as possible, but it has to make sense.
Even just with working with other people, bro, I feel like it's hard to it's hard to gauge where people's heads are at sometimes in terms of like collabing and stuff like that, bro. Because you never really know like people's true intentions, bro. Like on some real shit, bro. People. I feel like people been moving crazy lately, just in terms of like energy. And I'm super big on like energy, bro. And like if you have bad energy, I'm the type I could pick it up right away. Like soon as you walk in the door, I know what type of time you want. So I just feel like that's another thing, bro. Like just support, bro. Like support your homies. You know, like it's not hard to support your homies at all.
What's a moment that comes to mind when it comes to you reflecting and realizing, like, damn, maybe this person really didn't even want to work, and you don't got a name drop or anything?
There's always like subtle things that come about when you're trying to collab with people. Either it comes down to financial reasons, either you just don't have the funds, or people are busy. You know, it always comes down to certain stuff. But for the most part, I just feel like like you said earlier, it has to make sense in a way. And I'm starting to understand that, especially in music, because nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you a damn thing. And I had to realize that the hard way. No matter how hard you think you work, somebody is working harder than you or has already worked harder than you. So that's the only thing that you have to do, bro. You just have to stay on track.
Like you said, when that energy feels off,
Right.
when something doesn't feel right, and that's completely cool. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
But it sucks when it has to turn into more of a business than a personal interaction.
For me, that's been the hardest line to figure out.
The problem is that we're so afraid to establish that business relationship because we're worried about what's going to happen with that personal relationship, right? And once you, especially when that personal relationship hasn't been established yet,
Yeah.
but that's what happens when you get taken advantage of. When
Yeah.
shit starts to happen, you allow people to take advantage of you when you don't draw what that business line is,
Is
right? We had a conversation with the mind 2 weeks ago,
mhm.
and we were talking about that shit. You allow people to fuck you over in business more times than you allow your friends to fuck up in
Mm,
front of you.
mm.
Your friends could fuck
Preach.
you over and you could be so upset at them and you will not talk to them for a couple years. But somebody fucks you over business wise and they come to you with another investment or they come to you with another idea and you're willing to
To
give
jump
them the
back up.
chance
Yeah.
because you're like, well, like he said, you don't know me.
Right. Literally.
So I give you a pass. My friends, they know me. They know what I've been through. They know why I'm hurt.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't have done it.
That line between personal and business, especially in music too, it's like you want your counterparts to take you serious in a way, you know? And sometimes it comes down to the business first, which sucks, but cuz you know, everybody wants that personal connection. Nobody wants to feel like this is super transactional. Um what I do for you, you do for me. You know, like nobody really wants to feel like that, but I feel like to a certain degree it has to be established. It has to be established, which sucks, but it's all about balance.
Just like you mentioned in Chicago, right? Chicago's a city where it's very, very hard to establish yourself. Chris mentioned to us last week that the reason that is because people in Chicago do not believe what you're saying unless you believe what you're saying. The music that you're putting out needs to resonate with the people on the level of I know that guy or I think I know that guy. I think I know what he's like. So I know that this is truthful in what he's saying.
Sometimes though, I feel like, bro, it don't even matter what you say nowadays. To be honest, I feel like people gravitate towards. I feel like people gravitate towards more of what they aren't living. You know, like if you have a few artists that are making music about shit they're not doing or money that they're not getting and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of people are gravitating towards that more and more nowadays, especially you know here.
In my opinion, that's a perception, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is because if I hear an artist talk about some shit that say you see a nerd talking about
Right.
you see a nerd and he's rapping about fucking gangbanging
Bro.
and being involved in the streets,
Mhm.
making drill music, you don't believe him.
Yeah.
That's not gonna resonate with you. You're not gonna look at that and be like, man, I fuck with that dude because what he's saying is real, right?
Right, right, right.
You're
I hear what
gonna
you're saying.
you're gonna be like, I don't believe it. So why would I listen to it?
But at the same time, there are a lot of people that look the part as well. They look the part, but it's so easy to put out music nowadays, bro. You don't know who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. And it's like, not to bash anybody on what they got going on, but it's just so much music out right now, bro. Like, it's so easy to literally, you can make an album tonight and put it on all platforms by Friday. It's just super easy to make music, so I feel like it's harder to for people to gravitate towards the right audience in a way.
Do you feel like at the moment your music is a full representation of who you are?
100%. I was talking to my homie Pablo about this really from the start. Like we're in like a collective kind of like VMG. It's called VMG Villain Music Group, and we both started off kind of like rapping per se, like boom bap kind of vibes. But I've always had this gravitation towards like the melodic side of rap, and you know I felt like that was my more so my lane, so to speak. And he's always trying to get me to like, like, bro, come on, bro, start rapping again, bro. Ooh, ooh. And I'm like, man, that shit cool. But it's like, bro, it's something about this when I go in and I just, do melodic passes on certain beats and stuff like that. I feel like my energy and my creativity level just skyrockets, bro. In terms of like me trying to, stay in the same flow as, rapping and stuff like that.
What do you feel like something you haven't been able to express in your music yet? Something you've held back from?
I don't really touch too much on family aspects and what I go through there. That's probably the a level that I don't want to say I'm scared to touch on, but music is a form of therapy at the end of the day. So when you start, recording and writing down your thoughts, it's like you're releasing a certain type of energy. And sometimes I might not want to touch certain topics because I just know what comes with that energy. So I feel like at the end of the day, that's pretty much that's pretty much one of the topics that I don't try to stay away from, but I know what comes with it, and I know the emotional roller coaster that comes with it as well. So pretty much family. I'm trying to think. I think I touched on everything else in terms of like regular life, everything, everyday things that I've been through, gone through. So I think family.
What's something from family life that you feel has been crucial to your development?
My mom is truly an inspiration, bro. Truly an inspiration. I watched this woman, man, pursue her dreams from early on and just like how we talking about earlier, she just kept going. She just kept going, bro. She didn't stop. She knew what she wanted to do. And watching my pops support her in everything that she wanted to do, it showed a true reflection on what love is, man. And I aspire to be in their shoes one day in terms of that. And not saying because nobody's perfect and everything like that, but just seeing her really chase her dreams, like for real, it's eye opening. It allowed me to see that if you don't stop, what can happen.
But not only on the creative front, right? Because
Yeah.
you mentioned that touching on the family aspect, you know that what that comes with.
Mm.
There's certain things that you don't really want to open up yet.
Yeah. It's
What do you feel like is one of those things if you're comfortable, mentioning it?
recently, we did just have a family member pass away not too long ago. One of my older cousins, and you know, with any with any family death, they say it's supposed to bring the family closer in a way, but I felt like that was the opposite to a certain degree. And to not go too in depth, but I feel like that's a part of it, a part of why things might not feel the same right now. But I'm sure everybody has their moments. Families go through ups and downs and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about it, but it's definitely something that has been weighing on my mind heavy. Um, and it's hard, bro, because it's like your family. We should be good. Like if anybody should be good, it should be us.
When my grandma passed away, uh a lot of my family, we were all together for like 3 months, 4 months. They were all like bunched up together because they're taking care of my grandma, right? They know she's sick, they know what's about to happen. And then once she passed away, it was almost like everybody just kind of went and did their own thing. You didn't really see anybody. Even that first year of the holidays, right? We were still in COVID, but everybody was seeing each other when she was sick, but now all of a sudden it's the holidays and it's COVID, so we don't want to see each other.
Frustrating to say the least because that's blood. It's blood. Y'all go through a lot. Y'all watched each other grow up. You didn't had uncles and aunties raise you. Things of that nature. So at the end of the day, bro, you always just want to be straight with your people, bro. You want to be straight with your people at the end of the day.
So let's take it back. You mentioned your parents, they have this unconditional love for one another.
Mm.
Man, I almost thought you were going to stop right there and say, like, it inspires me to one day, I'll find that. I'll find that unconditional love from somebody.
Mm.
Because you even have a song, right? Scared to Love.
Mhm.
Scared of love. I'm so scared to love.
It's hard, bro, because nowadays I feel like relationships are taken for granted. And like even if you do find that one person, bro, and you feel like that's your person, sometimes it'll be certain things or it'll be little things, bro, that'll tick you off or make you mad, and people are ready to just jump ship and just say, fuck it, I don't want to deal with it no more. And to a certain degree, I get it, but I don't think that's what real love is about. I don't feel like that's what real relationships are about. I feel like it's about weathering the storm, truthfully, bro. And I don't agree with just I don't agree with just the cop out and just one time somebody does something wrong and it's over with. Now, granted, you know if you're with somebody who doesn't respect you, treat you right, all that stuff, then it's over with. But the main thing is finding somebody that you can weather the storm with. And sometimes, like, I was scared of that.
But what do you feel like instilled that feeling in you?
Past relationships, bro. Just dealing with ain't shit women, bro. Ain't shit women. And not all women are ain't shits, but it's just I don't even want to say ain't shit women. Ain't shit situations. Like a lot of the times, bro, you don't really know anybody's real intentions, bro. And it's really hard to trust nowadays, bro. It's really hard to trust nowadays. And I feel like if you find that one person that truly can hold you down, I don't see why you wouldn't stick around and try to, like even if things don't go necessarily 100% perfect all the time, you want to make sure that it's somebody that you can see yourself in the future with going through all that shit that you have to go through. Cuz people say it all the time, bro. Marriage is not easy. They saying that marriages are 50% divorce rate or whatever they're saying, some crazy stat that everybody keeps talking about, but I think it's just about finding that right person that you can see yourself weathering the storm with.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? Love is a choice. You choose to love somebody. There's that feeling that, you have. But over time, you hear it from a lot of people. They say that that feeling starts to fade a little bit. Maybe not for everybody. Maybe people are just married to the wrong fucking people and they think that, man, I've been stuck with them for this long, so I gotta stay, right? But it is a choice. To a degree, it's a choice because you choose to fix certain issues. When there's a problem that you have, you're either choosing to fix that issue or you're choosing to leave, right? So there's a choice every time that you do choose that route of, I'm going to continue to love this person,
Yeah.
and hopefully they will help fix the issue rather than just ignore the issue.
It's tough though, man. Especially nowadays, bro, with these phones, bro, and like it's so easy to act it's so easy to have access to other people, bro. And I don't know how I feel about that because even growing up, like, you know, I remember I remember just, in high school having high school relationships, bro. And like what that used to be a different type of jealousy. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like high school relationships compared to like your regular adult relationships, you kind of like learn to take shit for what it is when you're an adult. So, but it's just about having that being that easily accessible to people. I feel like that changed a lot of things in terms of just how like you communicate with certain people and like about certain topics, relationships. Like it changes a lot of things.
It's almost like those conversations that you're only supposed to have with one person. Now you're having them with more than one person.
When it's easier.
And it doesn't even need to be a direct conversation because now you look at, something like TikTok, you look at something like Twitter, right? You put it out into the universe and now there's multiple people interacting with that shit. Or maybe you're even trying to reach a certain person with a tweet that you're like, man, fuck it. I can't talk to you directly. So if you see this, you see this.
It's tough too because you want to keep certain things private, especially if you're in a relationship and you have somewhat of a following. It's like you want to keep your private life private without keeping it a secret, and I feel like you have to find that balance. And I was having trouble finding that balance at first, but I think right now I have it pretty figured out in
Mhm.
terms of that. I think I have it pretty figured out because that's something that I hold like near and dear to my heart, like keeping my private life private. Cause like, bro, because now, like, once I started making music, I got a bunch of strangers on my page every day. When you run ads and stuff like that, you attract different people. So I got a lot of people coming to my page, and I just don't like the idea of me posting like my mom or something, and like a random stranger
Nah,
knows what
hell
she. You
no.
feel me? Like, like,
Yeah,
like,
no.
bro, I don't even post my mom on Mother's Day, bro. Like real life. Like I'll take her out to dinner, do all of that, bro. Make sure her day is great. But it's just something about having like people on my page now that I don't know and just strangers in general, bro. Just every day, like looking on my page. I don't know. I get anxious about that shit, bro. I don't like that shit.
So what do you feel like it was that was causing you to have that struggle of drawing that line between the personal and, professional?
For example, like that Blueface and Krishan shit that's going on right now, bro. Their whole life is on the internet, bro, and not like it's
Not in a good way.
not in a good way, bro. Like it's detrimental, bro. Like whatever they got going on, bro. Like your business is not everybody's business, bro. It's just certain things that you like have to keep off the internet because it's people on here that are literally looking for something to screenshot to send to someone else, bro. It's just weird right now, like in terms of just finding that balance. I mean, I've learned to find it, but for somebody who hasn't, it's I can see why it's tricky. I can see why it's difficult.
So let's take it back a little bit.
Mm,
That first relationship is really what instilled those trust issues. It's what instilled that scared to love.
absolutely.
What was it about the relationship that has created this idea that it's a scary thought, to be in love with somebody?
It's scary, bro, because love will make you do some crazy shit, bro. Love will make you do some crazy shit, and what I've learned now, like being an adult and going through, relationships and shit like that, obviously it's different, but communication is truthfully the number one thing that I value when it comes to a relationship, bro. If I'm with you, or if we're talking and I feel like I can't tell you everything, or if you feel like you can't tell me everything, then we're not in a real relationship. And this is, we know what it is. We know what it is at that point. But communication is probably the one thing that I wish I would have knew growing up, because that seems to be the biggest disconnect right now. And it's wild because of how easily accessible we are to each other. So you would feel like, I feel like it should be the other way around. We're so easily accessible to each other that there's no reason why the communication should be bad, or the communication should be on the lower end.
But what stopped you from developing that? Like you said, it's so easy to get to people that maybe you don't need to know how to communicate. Maybe you don't need to communicate at the level of somebody who is emotionally intelligent, right? For me, I feel like I am at a level above most, right?
In terms of communication, right?
In terms of communication, in terms of understanding myself, in terms of when something happens and I voice my opinion, I voice my thoughts, sometimes it doesn't necessarily click for every single person I'm communicating to. And that's okay, because you have to understand everybody comes from a different background, right? Somebody might have not been taught how to communicate. Somebody might have not been taught how to comprehend certain things. There's one thing, there's listening and comprehension.
Definitely not the same thing.
When you listen to
Oh
somebody, you're
man,
listening to what they're saying, but if you're not comprehending,
comprehending.
it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. You're just going to keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over. Once you comprehend what they're complaining about, that's
yeah.
when you're going to be like, okay, I need to change this. Otherwise, they're going to walk out. So for you, what do you feel like has stopped you from learning how to communicate properly?
When you're a kid, you don't really think too deep. Like even growing up, bro, all the relationships that I had in high school and like even middle school, bro. Like you say you boyfriend and girlfriend in middle school, but you're not really. Like my mom used to always tell me like you need to focus. Pops used to tell me you need to focus, focus, just focus, focus, focus. That those relationships and all that extra shit will come when you up, when you got life figured out. And so truthfully, bro, that's really the main thing. Like, growing up, you're not really worried about that. At least for me, like in my mind, like, yeah, I was in those relationships and I was having fun and things of that nature, but like always felt like in the back of my mind they used to instill in me like you have to figure shit out first. Like, don't let this be the end all be all in terms of a relationship. Because bro, I remember I used to come home and tell my OG, bro. I used to like, yo, I think I'm gonna marry this one. And I'm in fucking sophomore in high school, and she like, "Nigga, you need to graduate first before you think about doing any of that extra shit." And I'm like, man, I hear you, but like, I think this the one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard, bro. It's definitely hard, but
You did the Big Sean, bro. You know the song Living Single? He says, look, I know what it feels like to think you found the one. Told mom that so many times I'm sounding dumb because she's starting to mix Ashley up with Tanisha,
mm,
saying hi, Brittany, when I'm on the phone with
with
Lisa.
Lisa. Oh, bro, nah, he was talking that shit, and bro, it's hard too, cause it's like growing up, bro, and I don't know if it was just me, bro, but I always felt like even if my communication wasn't up to par, I always felt like whoever I was dealing with at the time might have been a little bit of a better communicator. Cause just I was growing up, bro. I was young. I had this example of what love looked like at home every day, like seeing my parents, but it just never really resonated with me truly because they were always instilling that in the back of my mind, like you need to focus, you need to focus. Don't worry about these girls. You need to focus. You need to focus. And then I like that they did that to a certain degree, but it always felt like damn, do y'all want to see me happy? Like it was like, what's the balance? Like every time I tell y'all about something that's going on, like relationship wise, they really wasn't trying to hear it for real. Like they really weren't taking it that serious. So It's kind of like I don't know. It's weird. It was weird growing up.
I think that that's where there might be a disconnect, right? Because I just had this conversation yesterday. When you're constantly being told no, or you can't do this, you aren't this, this is not for you. Subconsciously, that's what goes into your mind. You're thinking this isn't for me. So let me push this all the way to the side. So now you have this instilled in you where you can't build this emotional attachment to this person because in your mind you've always been told like no, you can't focus on this, you got to focus on this. So your priority is always your work, your priority is always going to be school, whatever else is there is in your life, and not the relationship aspect.
And that's truly what it came down to, bro. Especially when I got to high school and I thought that I was finna start taking I thought that I was finna start taking soccer a little bit more serious. I was super cool on relationships, bro. I was super cool on relationships. I was, in them to a certain extent, but like I one foot in, one foot out kind of thing. But man, from I'm talking about, bro, since I was eighth grade, bro. Eighth grade, seventh grade. They literally would just drill it in my head. Stay focused, stay focused.
But then there's the part, where you got another song, you got a couple love songs, low key.
I got a few,
You
man.
you say, I just want to know who hurt you first, cause you ain't healed still.
Mm.
That line resonates in a lot of different ways. My first question all the time, especially to girls, it would be, who hurt you?
Let me know who hurt you.
Because
Let me
people will
know.
really be hurt out here.
Bro.
And that's their picture of what a relationship is. That first experience they have, their
It makes
actions,
or
their
breaks.
demeanor,
Yeah.
it completely changes. That first instance of love,
Mhm.
things change for you. For you, how did things change after that? How did your relationships afterwards take the impact?
I've truly figured out that communication was a strong, like a strong key. Cause people say communication like as a cop out. I used to think it was a cop out. Like, bro, there's more to a relationship than just communication. But when I got in college and I started getting a little bit older, starting figuring out life a little bit more, truly, bro, just talking with your partner, bro, and just making sure y'all on the same page, bro. Cause it's supposed to be like y'all supposed to be on the same team, bro. It's supposed to be y'all against them. And I feel like as soon as it's a slight discomfort, it's like you against your partner when it's really supposed to be y'all against whatever the fuck the problem is. And I feel like if we don't figure that out, or if I didn't figure that out, I don't know where I would be. Not in a bad way, but like just in terms of like relationships and my thought process on that. Um, it'll probably be all fucked up, to be honest with you, bro, if I didn't figure it out.
Do you feel like that inability to establish intimate relationships has translated into the fact that you find it difficult to build genuine connections when it comes to, the music industry?
I don't want to say that they coincide with each other. Um, because I like to. I don't want to say that I translate the two. Because even with music, I think it's more so always going to be business first in a certain degree.
I think that's a heavy one to think about, right? Because you don't realize that, in some ways it does kind of impact it, right? For me, right?
Hmm.
I also find it hard to establish these genuine connections that you would think you'd build over
Yeah.
time. You work with somebody and you have one really great moment, right? This is a great conversation.
Right.
I have a great conversation, you know, probably 40 times out of the year.
Mm.
We do it 52 weeks. I'm just like rounding down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Guessing,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But you still find that you find it hard to establish that genuine connection afterwards. How do you carry that relationship after the work? Because once again, right? Maybe there's that wariness from you to pursue a more genuine connection with somebody because you're afraid of what that looks like. Maybe you're afraid that they're not gonna want that same genuine connection.
Like how we spoke about earlier, bro. It seems like everything is super transactional nowadays, and not even in terms of finances, but it's just like, what can you do for me? What can I do for you? If it works out, then maybe we can be cool after this, or like maybe we can figure something out after this. But it's like that's the one thing that I actually don't like about, just music in general. Like I feel like it's hard, bro. It's truly hard because everybody wants to be, in their own bubble. Like I don't really fuck with it. I don't really fuck with it, bro. That's why the connections that I have built recently are like are truly genuine connections, bro. Like I have a few people that are in the industry that I can call and they will pick up. They will answer 100%. If I have a question about any fucking thing, they will be right there to fucking help me, bro.
Hey, shout him out real quick, bro.
Man, shout out Mike Will, Mike Will be looking out for me, bro. OG Mike Will, man, they whole team, even Neek, Stevo, just everybody that I've recently just locked in with, bro. They have been like just super supportive, bro, like on some big brother shit almost. And that shit is like hard to come by. That
Mm.
shit is really hard to come by. So I definitely want to give everybody their flowers too, cause we not stopping. We gonna keep going, and we once we locked in, we locked in. At least in my eyes. So
What do you feel like are some things you learned about the industry through Nari and Stevo that you didn't maybe learn from your cousin beforehand?
a lot of it has to do with actually, I want to say recording. Just seeing some of these guys work, man, it's like second to none, bro. It's a lot of talent coming out of these studios, bro. Like it's truly a lot of talent in the city, bro. And one thing that I didn't really get to see my cousin do was that whole recording process, was that, making songs or listening to beats and just getting that vibe of, getting in that vibe of making music. It's a different type of feeling. And, when you work with other artists, you you collaborate and you hear how they might come on a song and you're like, damn, I wouldn't even thought of, to hop on this motherfucker like that. He just low key slid on this, so it's like it's definitely crazy to see how other people work, especially um people that do the same type of music as you, like the melodic kind of rap. So it was eye opening. It was eye opening for sure. But that's definitely the main thing I would say, like the recording process and like just being in that atmosphere and that vibe, catching a flow, catching a rhythm. That's second to none.
I'm glad you were able to connect with them. Man, I love Stevo. Stevo, like I said, Stevo's a dog, bro. He's really, man, I haven't even really
Yeah.
told him, but like that dude is literally a content cheat code. Like
Oh, bro,
straight
nah,
up,
yeah, he
like
be going crazy.
yeah, he's raw as fuck. Do you feel like your mindset after it's been damaged, right? Your view on trust, your view on love, do you feel like it can revert back to what it was before?
You mean in terms of like before I corrected it, before I figured it out?
When you're younger, you're naive. You have this picture of like, man, everything in the world is perfect. Man, like you're all positive vibes. And then obviously as time goes on, right? Some bad shit happens to you. Your trust gets broken. Your heart gets broken. And now you have this almost pessimistic view of what the world is. Do you feel like after this has happened, after it's been damaged, that you can go back to what it was before?
I feel like that's not how real life works. I feel like real life comes with lessons. I feel like real life comes with, learning and teachable moments. And whether it's relationships, friendships, man, it's just a bunch of different aspects of life that you like you would wanna go back to obviously being naive and being a kid again and stuff like that, but that's just not the way the world works. Like I feel like true wisdom comes from those teachable moments, those life lessons where, you know, you got your heart broke, somebody passing away, like that's what molds you into the person that you ultimately will become. So I feel like even if you could go back to being naive, I wouldn't want to. I don't think I would want to.
What do you feel like's the most important lesson that you had to learn?
I used to be a slight troublemaker, and my mom used to always tell me like, you too smart to be, doing dumb shit. Like you way too smart to be doing dumb shit. And I'm like, these my homies though. Like these the guys. And I never forget, she was like, if you're the smartest one in the friend group, you in the wrong friend group. And I was like, the fuck do you mean if wrong frame? She was like, you need to be putting yourself in a position where you can elevate with the people around you. And I feel like that has shaped just not how I view people in general, but like not even relationships, but friendships, just genuine connections, man. You have to put yourself around the right people to succeed. That is the biggest thing that I have learned in this thing called life. You have to surround yourself with people who uplift you and not bring you down. It's always going to be the one person that you thought would never fuck up. I remember I used to have homies, bro. Used to be like, "What he did? What he did? He got arrested for what?" Like, damn, G. And it's just like he was the one that everybody thought that wasn't gonna happen to. But it's just who he was around. He's who he surrounded himself with. And shit like that happens all the time, bro. And she tried to instill that on me early on. Like, if you're the smartest person in the friend group, you need a new friend group. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to try to get yourself in another room where you can soak up knowledge and better yourself. And I feel like that's the biggest lesson.
You are the company you keep. And even you telling that story, it made me, think back to me growing up. I had my friends I grew up with, but as, time quickly progressed, I noticed that like they're the homies still. I still talk to them. Like I got no problem with them. They're like some of them are still my closest friends. I will forever consider them my friends, but those are not the people I was around all the time. Once I reached a certain age, once I reached a certain understanding of the direction I wanted to go, they weren't headed in that same direction. So now you got to exit that situation and place yourself, like you said, place yourself in a different position that's going to allow you to continue to grow.
Even if you do place yourself in another situation and you soak up more knowledge, you can even try to go back. Try to go back to that friend group and try to help them out. But at the same time, you have to figure out a balance because what you don't want is to be weighed down to a certain extent. So it's tricky. It's definitely tricky, but I feel like that's that's the main thing, bro. Just trying to surround yourself around people who want the same for you, who want the best for you. You know.
Shit, bro. I appreciate you, man. It was a
Man,
dope
oh,
conversation.
for sure, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for having me, bro. First interview, man. We did that, man. We did that.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you go ahead check out Kvdoe, Kvdoe.
Yes, sir.
I gotta ask you, why Kvdoe?
People been calling me that since I was a shorty, bro. Like, truthfully, because my real name is Kadir. So I used to have hella substitute teachers, bro. They couldn't even pronounce my name. And I remember one time I was just like, just call me Kato. Just call me Kato. It's cool. Because they used to say Cater and shit like that. And I'm like, bro, that's not my name, bro. Because people, when subs see a foreign name, bro, you know how that go. They get to sweating trying to pronounce it. I'm like, bro, just call me Kato, bro. And then that's how I started. So and then I tried to flip the A into the V. So trying to separate myself a little bit.
Well, shit, bro. Thank you for coming. Make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Broken pieces, who's to blame?